Let's keep it moving here, and we have a little bit more work to do on our chats view. So on our chats view, when we jump into a chat, we have this button where we already set up a confirmation dialog that has the ability to report a user and to delete a chat. We're going to set both of these up in this video. I first want to mention that the reason that I put report user chat in here is because if you have any sort of social networking app that goes onto the App Store, when Apple reviews your app, they're going to require you to add features so that users can block or report each other or different messages or different posts on your platform. So if there's ever a situation where a user is generating their own content and another user is going to see it, then you need the ability for the one user to basically block or report the other user. Now in our app, we're chatting with an AI, so there's never going to be a real situation where we have to report a chat because it would just be your own messages, but we're going to build out the report feature because most chat applications are going to need it. So we'll just do a quick little report feature where we just log the report. And then we're also going to delete the chat, and then we'll also delete the chats when we go and delete our account. Let's start with the delete chat code. So let's come into our chat manager. And I guess it's still all in one file. Let's keep working with it in one file and we'll move it at the end of this video. All right, let's move quickly here because I don't want to spend too much time on this. So func delete chat, we'll pass in a chat ID of type string. Make this async throws and go ahead and open the brackets. We will try await collection.delete. We should be able to delete the document with the chat ID. Again, this is a convenience method coming from Swiftful Firestore, which we have imported already up here. You can do this without Swiftful Firestore if you want to just write out the code document.delete, same thing. But now that we're deleting these chats, when we look at our database, we need to delete this chat document, but we also need to delete all of the documents inside the collection. So all of the chat messages we want to delete as well. So let's come here and we'll try await, and we'll say messages collection for the chat, and we will delete all documents. And both of these are happening. This is going to happen and then this is going to happen, but we can actually do both of these at the same time. So let's convert this to async let. Go ahead and try to convert it to async let without me. And otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and do it now. So let's go ahead and change this to async let. This will be called delete something, which is a function, and we'll set it equal to this. We'll say delete chat and delete messages. Then let's go here and say let __ equals await, try, delete chat, try, delete messages. Quick little optimizations because Swift concurrency is so easy to work with. We're also going to create a function here called delete all chats for user. We'll pass in a user ID of type string, async throws. And now let's go and say let all chats equals, let's call our function at the top, try await, get all chats for user. After we fetch them all, let's go ahead and delete them all. Now in here, I will challenge you guys to go ahead and use a task group to delete all of these chats at the same time. In our code, we already did a task group. So it should look just like this. I'm going to copy this and let's just paste it in here. Except this time we are going to say for, let's call this chats, for chat in chats. Let's go ahead and delete chat for chat.id. Let's copy both of these. Let's bring them up and put them into our chat service. And then let's go ahead and add one to our mock. Our mock will have delete chat as well as delete all chats. And I'll copy these and go down to our chat manager. Same thing, except this time we'll try await service.delete chat, pass in the chat ID, as well as try await service delete all chats for user ID. Let's add these into our code base. So we delete a chat. Let's go to our chat view. And we should have a delete function already. All right, so we have on chat settings pressed, delete chat. Let's create a private func and we'll say on delete chat pressed. And then in here, we'll do a quick task and we'll do a do and a catch. Let's get the chat ID. So we'll say let chat ID equals try get chat ID. Remember we made this reusable function already. Try get chat ID. Then let's go ahead and try await. Let's call the chat manager dot delete chat and we'll pass in the chat ID. If I come up here and I click delete chat, I want to delete the chat, and then since this chat is actually going to be deleted, we should kick the user back out to the previous screen. So from the environment, let's go ahead and pull in the \dismiss. We'll make this a variable called dismiss, and then we should be able to just call dismiss. So if this is successful, we'll go ahead and dismiss the screen. If not, let's actually show an error to the user. So we have a show alert. Let's just do a show alert here that says, let's do any app alert with title and subtitle. Triple click Control M. The title will be something went wrong. And let's just do, please check your internet connection and try again. And then we don't need any special buttons. Let's just delete that. Let's call on delete chat pressed from here. And let's jump into our settings view where we already have a on delete account confirmed. Let's pull in our chat manager. Chat manager. Call this the chat manager. In our previews, let's go ahead and add a preview environment, which will already have an app state. Let's copy this, let's paste it here, and let's paste it here. And now we should be able to add to our async let, we'll say delete chats, a function, and we'll set it equal to chat manager dot delete all chats for UID. And now we can also try delete chats. So async let becoming really powerful here because we're doing so much in just one function. Let's add an extra underscore here. That should compile. Let's Command R to build and run. Let's jump into our chat view, and we're not going to test deleting an account right now, but let's test deleting one of the chats. So if I come into my chats collection here, let's find one of these. So this first one, I have 4 messages here. This chat is with avatar ID 089B. 089B is Joseph. All right. So in my app, let's go ahead and find Joseph. And now I should be able to delete the chat. And when I delete it, this document should go away and all of the messages in here should go away. So let's click into here. So let's go ahead and let's delete chat. And then it kicks me back out. And we can see here the messages are gone as well as the actual document. And if I come back in, I should now be able to start a new chat. Say, hey, hopefully it pops back in. How cool is that? That is working perfect. Literally on our first attempt. I absolutely love it. Let's wrap up this video with the logic for reporting a user/chat. So let's come and jump into here. We have on our chat settings pressed. Let's create a private func on, and we'll call that from our button here. Let's jump back to our Firebase chat service. And now in our database, we have a database of chats. Each chat has a collection of messages. And now I want to take these reports and I want to log them in our database, but I don't want them to be coupled to the actual chats that all the users are using. So I want to store these separately somewhere else in my database. So up here, let's create another collection. I'll put it down here maybe. We'll call this chat reports collection. And this will be chat underscore reports. So this will be a new top level. Way back here, we'll have chats and then we'll have chat reports. And all we need is a quick function to just write a report to the database. So down here, let's put a new function in our service, func report chat. And we'll make this async throws, open the brackets. Let's report the chat ID of type string, and let's also provide the user ID, so the person that is reporting the chat. So if this was your app, you might have other data in here, such as like the reason that somebody is reporting a chat. Like on Instagram, you click report, And then there's 5 different questions on why are you reporting this. But for our purposes, we're just going to log the chat ID and then the user ID. Let's make a quick data model for the reports. So we'll make a struct called chat report model, make it conform to decodable and open the brackets. We'll also make it conform to string identifiable so we can use our Swiftful Firestore. We have to import identifiable by string. Every chat report will have an ID of type string. We'll also give it a chat ID of type string. We'll give it the user ID, which is the reported user. This is the reporting user. Lastly, we'll say is active of type bool, and we'll add a date created of type date. Let's go ahead and add custom coding keys. So this will be the chat ID, the user ID, the is active, and the date created. Let's give this a raw value of string. So now when I get the chat ID and the user ID, I should be able to report the chat. And let's actually change this so that we create the chat report inside the manager rather than in the service. So I'm going to change this. This will be the method in our manager. So down here, I'll have a report chat. And we'll say let report of equals chat report model, option enter, triple click, control M. Then we're going to create a new chat report. And we've done this a couple times in our code where we create a new data model. And let's create our static function to handle that. So when we created a new chat, in our chat model, we created some static functions, new. Let's go to our chat report model. Let's do a static func called new. And it will return a new instance of self, capital S, for the type chat report model. Chat report model, option enter, triple click, control M. We'll give it a random generated UID. We'll pass in the chat ID of type string, pass in the user ID of type string. This will go here. This will go here. When we create a new chat, we're going to say is active of true, and the date created will be now. The reason we have is active is because after we report these chats, we're going to need to also build something in our backend or in our CMS or for our dev tool so that our team can go through all the reports and then make decisions on whether or not we want to block users or ban them from our app, whether or not we want to take another action like delete their account or delete the chat or something like that. So is active is just a quick little Boolean that will start as true. And then once somebody on our team actually goes through and fixes it and makes a decision, then our internal tools will set this to false. This way we can track all the outstanding reports that are still active. In your actual app, if you're actually doing this like Instagram, it's going to be way more complicated than this. You're going to need more chat reasons, and then maybe you have in here like outcome or something that actually describes what decision was made after looking at the chat. But for right now, we'll just do a quick is active Boolean, and that should be enough for us. So let's do chat report model.new from the chat ID and the user ID. And then let's take this report model and we'll come to our Firebase chat service and we'll pass in a report of type chat report model. And then in here, we will try await. Let's call chat reports collection. We can then set the document and we will pass in this report, which already conforms to string identifiable. Let's copy this, make it part of our service. Let's add one to our mock. And now all we need to do is jump to our chat view. Let's create a task with a do and a catch. And we'll take the same error here, make that in our catch here as well. Let's take our chat ID, get it here, and let's try await chat manager dot report chat with the chat ID. Let's also get the user ID, let UID equals try auth manager dot get auth ID. Pass in the UID here. Let's build and run it to our simulator and hopefully it works. I will note that in our chat manager now, we have the chat reports in the same service as the chats. And we very well could have broken out the chat reports to another manager. Like we could have made a reporting manager and had a totally different database or service relating to the reports. I don't want to go through the time of doing that because this is just way faster. We already have this set up. But for sure, I've seen in apps where teams will break out all of these even further so that the reports have their entire own data flow from the chats and it's not all in one service. But because we have this, let's go ahead and try it. So let's go into Jimbo. I don't like what Jimbo's been saying. So let's go ahead here and click Report User Chat. Now, the last thing that we need to do is come down to our chat manager. And in our chat manager, let's call try-await service.report chat. We'll pass in the report. So now our chat view should send this report. And if it is successful, let's also show another alert on success. So when we go and we run it, we should say, if it is successful in reporting, let's let the user know that like, hey, we got your report and we will check it out. So I will control command spacebar. Let's get the alert. I'll do 2 of these and let's say reported. And then maybe the subtitle will be like, we will review the chat shortly. You may leave the chat at any time. Thanks for bringing this to our attention. Let's go ahead and build and run it to a simulator and see if it works. So let's jump in here. Let's go talk to, let's see what chats do we have going here. Steve was pretty annoying before, so maybe we want to report Steve's chat. So let's go here and let's report. Reported. We will review, so I have a typo. We will review the chat shortly. You may leave the chat at any time. Thanks for bringing this to our attention. Let's give maybe an exclamation mark at the end. And it looks like it worked. So let's jump to our database here and let's reload it. And hopefully we have chat reports here. We can see that isActive is true. Now that we have this document here, I could build another app or a web app or a CMS tool or a dev tool where our team would fetch all of the chat reports, filter for all the ones that are still active, and then our team could go through and manage them and handle them and mark them as completed. Cool. Let's wrap up this video with just moving some of the code. Our chat manager, we have so much code in the chat manager file now. Let's go ahead and just move it into its own files. So inside the chat folder, we're going to create a services folder. Let's take our chat service, cut it, put it in here. Let's take our mock chat service, cut it, also put it in the services folder, as well as our, I'll take the Firebase Firestore all the way through the Firebase chat service, cut it, put it in here. Let's go back and take the chat report model, which I'll also cut. And let's import a Swift UI here. And in our model section, let's add a chat report model, which I'll put up here. I think we need to import a Swift UI as well. Let's Command R to build and make sure that it compiles. Chat manager file looks much cleaner. And then we have unknown error. Let's import Swift UI at the top of this file. Command R, hopefully it compiles. And we'll wrap up this video. Sweet. We're basically done with our chats. We got one more video next where we're just going to do a little bit of polish, but the bulk of the feature is done, and we are pretty close to being ready for the App Store. Let's go ahead and Option Command C. Let's call this a feature, and let's say delete and report chats. Stage it, commit it, push it on up, and I will see y'all in the next video.